Hi everyone, welcome to Anthony's Hobby Corner. And it's been a while since I've shot some videos, almost a year I presume, and that's because I had a lot of competing priorities both at home and also at work. So in any case, I found some time today to start shooting some more videos, and I figured let's start today with a purchase I made at a train show. So, anyways, I was at, and this is one of the purchases I made there. So I was at the train show, and there was a vendor selling British 00 gauge, 00 scale locomotives, and he had these lemurs, and so I like lemurs. They're fairly cheap and easy to fix. So if anything goes wrong with them, anyways. But so in any case, I did purchase this along with a few other lemurs. But what I noticed when I brought it home was that it wasn't a lemur inside. It was a mainline class 42 Warship class locomotive, and so I was in a lot of regret because I know that these mainline class 42s were notorious for having cracked gear wheels on the final drive. And so I wish I'd actually opened it up and checked then and there, but either way, here we are. And so let me just open up the locomotive here, and it's in fairly good shape, so probably very minimal wear on it. But when I put it on the track, I noticed that it had the clicking sound, which meant was that it obviously had cracked gear wheels. So my worst nightmares came through. So either way, I tried to go and search for gear wheels for these locomotive, and they're kind of hard to find. Basically, there's some at the model train shop there in the UK, but they were sold out. And Peter Spares also didn't have the gear wheels, and so I had to sort to alternate options. So before I went and actually looked for the gear wheels, I didn't know what type of gear wheel it was needed in here. So the final drive gear wheel on these are 16 teeth on them. They're 8.72 millimeter diameter, and they're 2 millimeter axle diameter as well. So they're supposed to go on a 2 millimeter axle. So that's a requirement. So in any case, I did go online and search for gears for them. But before I go there, let me show you the issue with these locomotives. So these locomotives have one truck that's just pickup, and then the other truck is the drive truck. And so once we pop this open, I can show you where the cracked gear wheels are. All right, so I'm just going to pop this truck open here. And this is a little tricky because you gotta have something down here. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna put this in here. There we go. So the gear wheels that typically end up going are the final drive gear wheels on each of these axles. And I can also already see the crack on this one. Let me pop this one out here. So there's the gear wheel, and I don't know if I can get it to focus on the camera, but as you can see, I can hold the gear wheel here and just easily spin the axle. And there is no issue spinning this, so I definitely know it's a cracked gear, and there's a crack right there. So this one's busted. I should note the orientation of the axle. So the insulated side is on the further side. And same for this one. This one's got a big crack on it too. I can see the crack right there. And yep, I can easily spin the gear wheel as well. So it just has no grab on the axle. So we got two cracked gear wheels. And so, let me move this aside for now. So the only option we have here is to find alternate gear wheels, and the problem with that is that they're hard to find. So I was able to go online on eBay and then find the manufacturer here that has a similar specifications, with the only exception being the width of the gear wheel. So the alternate gear wheels I was able to find a pack of these, and they were fairly cheap. And I feel I should hold on to these, because if I get any more mainline locomotives, I know that I'm going to need to use these gear wheels. So as you can see, these gear wheels actually are much wider in diameter compared to what is currently in place. But that's not a big issue, because they will fit into the crevice that's available there. So I just have to sand this gear wheel down just a little bit, and so I'm just going to do that just to make it a little bit narrower than what it is. But other than that, the teeth are perfect. The pitch of the teeth are perfect, and the diameter is the same, I believe, for the gear. Yeah, and the axle is 2 millimeters. So I'm hoping it'll fit on this axle here. Alright, so before I remove the insulated wheel from this axle, I'm going to measure with my caliper here the exact internal width, so I can always bring it back to the same amount. So here we go. So it's 14.27 millimeters, or almost 14.3, 14.29. Yep, let me just check this one. Oh, this is slightly more. Okay, so it's anywhere between 14.4 and 14.3. Okay, so I got the axles here. I've measured them already. I know the width between the gap between the flanges is 14.3 millimeters roughly. So I'm gonna pop these out. There we go. And then pull out this gear. Just make sure that the gear goes in this direction. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to pop this gear out. Use some alcohol here to clean the axle so there's no oil. And okay, so I'm just going to put this gear in. Oh, it's a tight fit for sure. Wow, that is a tight fit. Oh, I have to align this just right so that it fits in the gap of the this seems about right. Just a little bit more. There we go. So it'll just fit there snug. Okay, so I'm going to put the other wheel back on. I'm also going to look to compare it to the old one to make sure the gear is in the right position. And it is. In fact, I can take it out just a bit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so let's put this one back on. There we go. And now I just gotta use the caliper again and make sure I have the right 14.45. So I need to go in just a tad bit. That's 14.3, that's perfect. That's great. So I'm going to pop this one in to the locomotive. Get something to prop it up here. There you go. That seems to be fine. Now we're going to do the other one. All right. Let me just measure so I can make this easy now. Okay. And take the second one out. Let's clean the axle. Make sure there's no oil on the shafts. I'm using some alcohol to wipe it out. And then we're gonna put the one. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put this gear in here. Oh, it's kind of a tight fit again. All right. I got my caliper here. I measured the distance before I pushed it on. Just a tad. There we go. Just, well, let's see here. Just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, it's fairly close, I think. I'll just measure the measure the gap here between both of them, make sure that they're just identical. Yeah, they are. Maybe just a hairline. Just being a little too precise here, but only because I have wide gears, I'm trying to make sure that I have it exactly the same. Yeah, there we go. Now we're good. Yep. Okay, so that seems to be the right gap. Alright, so now I'm going to pop this one back in as well. Oops, I should have put the wheel in first. Okay, need to put this one in first. Alright. I just eyeballed it. Let's make sure it's close to 14. .3. So it's 14.5. That's a little too much, so I'll push it in a bit more. There we go. Still a little too wide. Oh, there we go. That was definitely quite a bit. That's 13.9. It's too much. Take it out a bit. 14.0. Okay, we're getting there. Yep, 14.1. 14.2. There we go. 14.32. There we go. And I think I had 14.3 as well on this one. Yeah, 14.3 on this one. Is that good enough? Okay. Everything's popped in place. Let me just put this on the bench supply for a bit just to make sure it actually runs properly, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I ran it on my bench power supply for a quick second just to make sure that there were no gears that were grinding or there was too much pressure on any of the gear wheels, and they were all functioning well. There was sufficient play on them as well, which is great. So I think these gear wheels actually work really well. It's a good alternative to cracked gear wheels for these mainline class 42 Warship locomotives. This is a notorious problem on these mainline locomotives, but I was lucky enough to be able to find some gears that actually would work for this. With a little bit of modification, you can get it to run, and of course, I do like the wider gears because it gives it a lot more grip on the axle. And so I'm going to put some lubrication on it right now, some gear oil, so that it'll wear in a bit. Now I'm going to have to run this locomotive for a bit so that the gears wear in to the new gears that are in here. Alright, so let's put some lubrication here on these gears. You can tell that there's been no lubrication at all. Now I'll shoot another video on cleaning the motor inside, but I'm not going to do that today. I think this is fairly clean, but we'll give it a full service next time. Alright, so I'm going to run this on the bench power supply for a quick second just to get the oil worked in to the gears, and I'll be back, and then I can put the truck cover back on. Alright, so I realized why this cover wasn't going back in was because that I was using wider gear wheels, and as you can see there is some plastic here that's preventing that doesn't have the same cavity as for the gear wheel here, so the wide part of the gear wheel is actually striking on these pieces of plastic right here. So I'm going to grind this down. I don't see any specific use for this, so I'm going to grind this part down with a Dremel tool, and I'll be back. Okay, so I took the Dremel to it, and as you can see, I have now extended this arc all the way to the end, and that's because the new gear wheels now take the full width, and so I've done it for both sides here. This should help. So let's see how it snaps back on now. Okay, so let's put this back on here. Oh yeah, that went in pretty well. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, so it's all snapped in. Just going to check to make sure the gears can move. Yeah, seems like it can. Just going to put it on the bench power supply for a second, and I'll be back. Just make sure that it's rotating freely. Okay, so I did test on the bench power supply. It seems to be moving pretty freely. So let's put it on the track now, and let's see how it runs. Now I'm going to be servicing this locomotive, the motor and the bearings inside another time. I just wanted to make sure I got the gear wheels going and make sure that it actually functioned with that. So let's put it on the track and see how it runs. Alright, so let's put this on the track and see how it runs. All right. Oh man. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see how it goes. It's running well. The gears are sounding healthy, so I'm not hearing any kind of grinding or anything, so that's good too. Alright, this is great. So now I can actually run this locomotive and enjoy it. I was quite sad when I realized it actually had cracked gear wheels, and at least now there's an option to fix these ones moving forward. If any of you are interested in finding out where I got these gear wheels from, I'll try to locate the seller, but it seems like it's really a good match for this one. Alright, hope you found the video useful, and thank you for watching.